All right, guys, joining me at this time is one of my favorite guests. I have back with me the great himself, Alexander Hernandez, taking on Thiago Moraes February 27th. Man, how excited are you to get back in the cage for the first time in 2021?
Yeah, Dale fired up, man. I was trying to get this fight at the end of last year, but just the lack of activity from most fighters, they needed to get more guys on showing face that year. So happy to have him first quarter of 2021. I think it's going to be another smoke show. I'm super excited.
What challenges do you think Thiago presents to you?
um, there's just always a shot of getting caught. You
Hmm.
know, Bruce Buffer, puncher's chance. So it's always a threat. He throws bombs, and so there's always a chance.
I feel like after the Drew Dauber loss, you really reevaluated yourself, and we've seen a completely huge evolution of your game ever since going to Factory X. You have the huge knockout of Chris. Tell me, what does Mark Montoya play into your mentality going into these fights?
Man, we just click. People kind of people talked about the Dillashaw and Dwayne Ludwig
Yes.
relationship and how they just kind of synchronized and took off. And I just feel like Mark has definitely been like that guy for me, and the evolution I've been able to make on the feet. And then we were just talking about it, having my guy back home, Yarrington, who was
Mhm.
my guy on the ground, and so now finding this other piece of the game. And then Joe Warren as the bridge that brings the from the stand up to the ground. It's incredible. It's so incredible. And yeah, Mark has introduced so much to me. And before, I don't think I had an IQ. Like, I was the dumbest fighter in the world. I was just like a jock that would just explode in there and just try to fuck shit up.
Well, yeah,
And
you're super athletic. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Use it to
well,
your
and
advantage.
yeah, and that took work. People call me an athlete, but most of my life I was never called an athlete. That took a lot of work and the technique behind it. And that's what I would do. I just kind of spring forward without any real destination of where I was going to land. And Mark gathered my game together and brought an IQ to me and my understanding. I feel like I can just transcribe everything he's been feeding me and putting it into in the octagon, and it, it's awesome. It's definitely like just a whole different fire burning now that I've seen, kind of through that window. I'm like, oh shit, that's some potential we've got. Let's tap into that.
You're about 4 weeks out from this Thiago fight. Have you and Mark been able to sit down and kind of break down what he does?
Um, yeah. I've watched. I really don't spend too much time over analyzing anybody. I kind of learned that lesson pretty quick in my first fight
Hmm.
with Yush. Granted, the camp was much shorter, but um, I just
Yeah,
don't like
you really didn't have time to think on that one.
it was like a 5 day camp, but I just don't like to wear people on me too much and over presume and really hold an expectation. So I've seen what I need to see from Tiago. I know him well, and again, the way I've been fighting and training and the IQ, I don't really need to prepare for any one specific thing. I know whenever I stand across when we square off, I'll know how to align, I'll know how to move, and I'll pick the shots and blend.
Now, since moving to Factory X, you've obviously found yourself an abundant of training partners. Have you had anyone that kind of mimics what Thiago is able to do?
Yeah, I mean the abundance. Yeah, no shortage of talent. It's 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 a dogfight every day. It's crazy. Um, and Tiago's, yes, we just received a stock of Brazilians. I got my boy Luigi, the Italian stallion, who's in town, heavy hitter, moves in much the same way as a black belt himself. And then Mato and Neto were two Brazilians who just got in the UFC as well. And not to say uh, all the Brazilians fight alike, but there's certainly a congruency in style.
For
So,
sure.
and there's a trend of heavy hands and heavy looping hands, and so seeing that seeing heavy looping hands on a consistent basis is good. Big powerful shots, and then a strong grappling presence. So having these looks is important. But again, I really just thrive in the challenges of each one of those guys. Like we have such a diversity of dudes at our team. There's so many different body types, and so you're constantly just being challenged. Your IQ's being challenged. So again, I'm just not overthinking Tiago.
Yeah, smart too. Talk about how important is it, just moving to Factory X. I feel like you uprooted everything. You know what I mean? You had your gym in San Antonio and uprooted your life. Now you're in Colorado, man. How has that all played out for you? Do you feel like it's paid off in the long run?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just I talk so much about vulnerability and making yourself uncomfortable, and facing those. Uh, this was everything that needed to happen in order for me to survive in my career and thrive, and yeah, but best decision to date, no doubt. I had a good talk with Mark about that as well. Whenever my birthday came around this last year, I was in a rut because I normally like to just hit a certain metric of success by the time that date comes around. And I felt like I was far lagging behind. And he just reminded me of all the decisions that we had made and all the work that we had done up until that point, where we'll reap the rewards later on, and see the fruits of that. And the Grootsmock was just the start of that. And what an incredible start that was, And so I love it. I love the challenge. I love the team. I love my coach. It's awesome.
So are you saying that we could see a whole different Alexander Hernandez in the next fight?
You're gonna see more of the same of that last fight. Man, it's crazy. There's so much growth in a single private session, and there's so much new knowledge being dropped. And yeah, I mean, honestly, what you see, yeah, fuck yeah, you probably will. You probably will. I probably will look. I'll the same composure, but constantly new moves, new versatility, and so I'm just on a good wave, just pushing the momentum.
Yeah, it seemed like you brought a Swiss Army knife in against Chris. You had all types of weapons at your disposal. For you, was that something that you had game planned? Was to go in there and kind of confuse him with a bunch of different looks?
No, that's what I'm saying, man. That's just like just day to day, enhancing our game. With him, I didn't have any plan. I intended to be long because I know he was a good mid range striker. And so I wanted to be long, and I wanted to just pick my shots. And I expected him to be, a juggernaut. He can definitely weather a storm and come back. And I didn't expect to take him out or anything. I was just going to go in there and go to work. That was it. And the composure was honestly the biggest thing because I was able to see how tense he was. He didn't want to be there. And so I just thought I'd go over there, tap him on the shoulder, kind of get in his grill a little bit, and just respond.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it was probably the calmest we've ever seen you in all of your octagon fights.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With Thiago, obviously he's beaten guys like Michael Johnson, Bobby Green, some big names. Obviously, beating him elevates you as well. I know you're not looking past him, but are there some ideas on who you'd like to fight next?
Yeah, I know Riddell's another person who's been calling for me in the last. So, and he's probably right above Moises. So, I will take on a challenger around that tier and then break back into the top 15 is my plan.
Yeah, a crazy weekend for your division, man. I expected to have a lot of questions answered, but I feel like we just came up with more questions now. Conor McGregor being knocked out by Dustin Poirier, not something I thought was going to happen. Obviously, it went down now. With everything being so cloudy at the top, is it almost nice not to be stuck in that headache?
Yeah, I don't know if it's nice to not be there or not, but it's nice to be where I'm at mentally and and financially now with the contracts, and so I just like the trajectory I'm on. But I'll tell you what, watching all that was nice too, because everything felt within reach. Like that co-main event and that main event, nothing was overwhelming or perplexing and felt, intangible. Everything was in reach. And that was a little bit of a surprise.
You talked about the new contract. How excited are you to finally just get that behind you and just prepare on fighting?
Yeah, great, dude. And I just mean, I don't mean contract as in like, oh, like thank God I'm here. I mean like now we're making some coin and we're starting to prize fight is what that's what I mean. But yeah, I'm happy to What were you saying with that? Yeah, happy to move on from. I guess
Just not having to worry about it. You know what I mean? I know a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people always,
Well, I wasn't worried about the stake of being a fighter in the UFC. I was never worried about that. It was more of just trying to make some goddamn money, because all these fights that I was in, these top 15 guys, and either on main cards or headlining the prelim if it was a big main card, all the people around me were making loads more money. And granted, they had a far greater seniority, in the organization, but I was just getting swept under, under the rug.
For sure.
So just to start seeing some actual coin is nice. I mean, just more favorable.
Now, this fight is at the Apex Center. You haven't had an opportunity to fight on Fight Island yet, but is that something you'd like to do before it's all said and done?
Yeah, I kind of do, man. It is so historic and legendary. Like a big part of
Right?
it, fuck no, because it was 16-hour flight lag, and then going nocturnal is just shit, So I could do without it, but if it happened to happen, I love the Apex. I love fighting in Vegas. I'm 2 for 2 there with two bonuses. So
Right.
I really like being there. It's kind of like a second home because of all the relations there, my manager being there, and so it's nice. The Apex is like just perfectly quaint and accommodating. Like you just get in and you get exactly what you need from it, and you get out.
You mentioned Jason House, Iridium Sports Agency. Dude's legit one of the best in the business. How is it to just have completely like full faith in having somebody like that? It must be nice for you, right? You don't have to worry about nothing. He's kind of takes care of everything.
Yeah, Jason's the man, and I've been talking to people a lot this last like 6 months, just how much he's blown up. Like even from when I started with him like 3 years ago, he's taken off. It's crazy, and he's a grinder. He's never not answering his phone whenever you call. He's never not on the phone. He's always working, and
the one thing I like
he's
about him is he
too,
treats all
awesome.
his clients
He's
the
with
same.
boys. Yeah, he's awesome. No, Jason kills it. The whole team. He's got a great staff behind him, really, and that's a big part too. He's got a tremendous crew, all the Iridium crew.
Yeah, like I said, he treats everybody like family too. That's got to be very nice to know that you're just not an account for him, that you're actually family.
Right. No, 1,000%. He does right. He does right by all the fighters.
100%. 28 years old, man. I feel like we bring this up every single time. You're so still young in this game. It is a young man's game, but your future is still very bright. You got in it very early. You got the huge Beneil Dariush knockout. Now you're barely getting into your prime at 28 right now. We're about to see the best Alexander Hernandez we've ever seen. What could we potentially see from you in the future?
I don't know. Just every bit of, what I originally set out to be, always wanted to be, and that really just didn't even seem like. I mean, for a while there that I was going to be, but I think that you'll see a champion. I believe now at this point in my career where I'm at with my team, that I can be champ, and that was something that almost dwindled for a moment.
Talk about that. I mean, obviously, you went through the losses and then you had change of teams and everything like that. There was a moment, obviously, where you didn't think that you were as good as we all know you are. And sometimes people talk about it a lot. Fighting is more mental than it is physical.
Yeah, in an immense way, it kind of is, and certainly depending on the time of the day, the year, the fight itself, like, yeah, mental might play a bigger toll than physical. But it's a roller coaster ride, man. And
Mhm.
like we were saying on where we're at and where we wish we'd be, I'm grateful for my story, and the more it's told, the more I'll be greater and proud of it. Um, but it's just that it's turbulent, it's bumpy, and the highs are high and the lows are low, and like the samurai rides that middle slopeless line, and just stays, yeah, center neutral and presses onward, and that's kind of like just where I'm trying to hold right now.
Now, I know you don't like to give predictions, but how do you see this fight playing out on February 27th?
Yeah, I really believe it'll be more of the same of my last bout. Uh, I think I think I'm going to crack him with something heavy, and then he is going to frantically shoot in on an outside double, and I'll stuff it, and then he'll pull for an ankle lock, and then I'll smash the ankle lock, and then I'll, instead of retreating and getting up to my feet, I'll smash his guard and pummel him on the ground, and then he'll break mentally, and the fight will end. And
Nice, nice.
that's truly how I see it going.
Well, we definitely know a ton about your fight career. How's personal life been, man? How's the holidays for you? How's everything been?
Really good, man. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just been the fight career,
Right?
like, because I moved here, like you said, uproot everything, got here, so it's kind of just been no nonsense. We didn't come all this way to
Constantly cornering
yeah,
teammates as well.
exactly, yeah, exactly. I've just been busy and grateful for that they would even let me do that shit. So that's awesome. Um,
It's got to help
but
gel the team better.
well, and it matured and seasoned me a lot as well. Like I learned a lot on those trips. That Abu Dhabi trip was revolutionary for me. That shit was major, and the connections I made with Coach and even Brandon, and seeing that gangster go to work and do what he does on, like,
Yeah, Brandon Royval,
just
man, very
a little
special
we have
talent.
there. It was just amazing, and um, just made me harden up a bit. And yeah, I don't remember what the original bit was, but
Your girlfriend's making an
yeah,
amateur
yeah.
debut as
Livelihood though.
well.
We didn't come here to fuck about though, so it's just pretty much been a grind, and that, dude, that makes me feel better than anything else. Like, as long as I'm progressing upward, stagnation or regression just makes me want to off myself. I can't stand it. So moving forward is the only option. As long as I'm doing that, I feel great. So it's been a really good, yeah, it's been a good bit of time.
Excellent, brother. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time and how super busy you guys are.
Yeah,
Your
appreciate
girlfriend's preparing for her fight this weekend.
it.
Uh, Before I let you go, though, I want to give you a chance to give an opportunity to shout out your sponsors, teammates, loved ones, anyone that's really helped you along your MMA journey.
Yeah, man. Factory X, Ohana Academy Northeast, Roots Fitness, or Farmer. I don't know what that guy's handles anymore. It's my Yoda up in Oregon, homie Kilgore back in New Braunfels, and yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
And where can the fans find you on social media?
At the Great 155.
There you guys have it. Alexander the Great Hernandez taking on Thiago Maes February 27th, UFC Fight Night. Who's the main event? Is that the Jury Proganov, Dominic Reyes foot card?
I had no idea. Haven't
Listen,
even.
the main event is Alexander Hernandez. That's who you're tuning in to watch. You better believe it.
Yeah,
Don't forget it. And thank you again for coming on, Alex. Can't wait. Well, hopefully, we can catch up while you're in Vegas.
absolutely, for sure, bro.
All right, man. You have a good one.